Well, Dad, how many times I told you I don't want to study science, I want to study business. Please try to understand, please, please, Dad. She had been trying to convince her father for the past half hour to allow her to study business instead of medical, but he refused. Mr. Levine, absolutely not. You have always dreamed of becoming a doctor since childhood, and now you want to give up on that dream and study business because of that insignificant boy. I told you countless times to leave that useless boy alone. I don't know what you see in him that you like so much. I don't like that boy at all. During you are running your life over him. He was angry with his daughter himself being one of the Korea's top surgeon and owner of several hospitals with his entire family being doctor. One belonged to a wealthy family whereas the boy she loved was from a poor background, studying on a scholarship in her school. One, Dad, I told you so many times don't judge him like that. He's a very good and hardworking boy. And just wait and see. One day he'll be very successful. Then will you agree to my marriage with him? She was an 18-year-old girl who had just completed her high school education. Mr. Lee, I don't think that the day will ever come, but even if one day he achieves success and stands equal to me, and I am convinced he can take care of my daughter in every way just like I do, then only will I consider arranging your marriage with him. Otherwise, you will have to marry someone of my choice. I am convinced, Papa, one day he will definitely become a successful person and I will marry Jungkook with your consent. She spoke with all hopes. Papa, let me make my own future. I promise you will never be disappointed in me. You will be proud of me. Now tell me, will you get me admit to business college or not? Or do I need to go on a hunger strike to convince you? This was her last resort to convince him. She began to look at him with innocent eyes, knowing he loved his only daughter dearly and he couldn't bear to see her hungry. Mr. Lee, okay, fine. I will get you admit to a business college tomorrow. Thank you so much, Dad. You are the best dad in the world. She hugged him tightly, kissed his cheeks, grabbed the car keys, and quickly jumped up, rushing outside with excitement. Where are you going now? I am going to meet Jungkook. I have to give him the good news that you are angry. He must be waiting. He shook his head in disappointment. I think my daughter will never change. She came straight to the cafe knowing he worked there in the evening. As she entered, she spotted him working. She quietly took a seat at a corner table and waited for him to become available. His gaze fell on her while he worked as he smiled, aware that she disliked disturbing him while he was busy. After finishing his work, he picked up two coffees and her favorite cookies and sat down beside her. When did you arrive here? She was engrossed in gazing outside when she suddenly startled at his words and turned to look at him with a smile. I just arrived a little while ago. I didn't want to disturb you since you were busy. I know. Have some coffee and here are your favorite cookies. Thank you, she said, taking the coffee mug and picking up a cookie to eat. Fine, Cookie, I have something to tell you. Know that got accepted into my business college and starting tomorrow. We will be going to college together. You have no idea how happy I am. She spoke with exhilaration, but Jungkook didn't seem overthrilled at her. I told you that you and your dad always wanted you to become a doctor. Why are you suddenly giving up on your childhood dream of becoming a doctor for me? You shouldn't do that. You don't understand why I'm doing this. You know, Dad, and besides, I have lost interest in my science. My whole family is full of doctor. I want to do something different. That's why I'm switching business to be with you. You shouldn't worry. I'm happier studying business with you than studying science. Don't think too much. We'll be going to college together starting tomorrow, and I'll come to pick up you from home. Don't leave your college for before I arrive. And look what I got for you. She picked up her two shopping bags and were beside her and placed them in front of him. Jungkook, when I've told you countless times not to buy anything for me, I work and can buy things for myself. He values independence and doesn't want to be pampered. I know you're self sufficient, but I enjoyed buying things for you. You don't have anyone He's beside me, so at least let me take care of you. And this time I didn't buy anything unnecessary for you. Your shoes were getting old and your bag was torn, so I just got these two things for you. She persistently showing her care and concern. She began to gaze at him with innocent eyes to escape his scolding. Jungkook, you'll never change. Come on, finish your coffee quickly and go home. It's getting late. You're not angry with me, thank you. She hastily dipped cookies in her coffee and ate while Jungkook gazed at her with loving eyes. This foolish girl was deeply in love with him, but he was even more spirited. However, he didn't express his feeling, and right now he didn't have what it took to reveal them. He didn't even want to show her his dream yet. After a while, she finished her coffee and biscuits, stood up, bid farewell to Jungkook, and walked towards the reception. She picked up some purchased and then packed and headed outside. Jungkook gazed followed her until she left. After she departed, he finished his coffee and headed towards the reception. Charged the receptionist, but she had already paid the bill. Jungkook, what? This girl never changed. He shook his head regretfully upon hearing this. It had only been a few months since their relationship began, and she was unusually sensitive about every little thing concerning him. He smiled, touched by concern for him. Their relationship had started when she proposed to him. Otherwise, he didn't have the courage to propose a girl like Gwen. He only admired her from afar. Time was passing, and the two were extremely happy together, deeply immersed in each other's love. 6 years had gone by, and they had completed their education, internship, and several small projects. Throughout these 6 years, one stood by Jungkook's side through every step, in every joy and sorrow, in every illness. She was not like other girls, which Jungkook found utterly captivating. The reason was not that he didn't want to be close to her, but rather he didn't want to give one access to his intimacy. He didn't want her to get accustomed to his closeness, and nor did he consider himself worthy of her yet. He valued her even more than before, considering her an even more precocious girl. He thought that if he didn't make her accustomed to his closeness, it would be easier for and to forgive him if he couldn't become worthy of and had to distance himself from her at some point in life. But he didn't know that this girl breathed only for him, and her heartbeats synchronized with his gaze. If he ever pushed one away, her heart would shattered into pieces, and they had finished a project with a company and were sitting by the seaside, surrounded by a serene atmosphere and gently breeze that brought them tranquility. They too were engaged in conversation with each other. Jungkook, when I looked at this land, I am thinking of buy this place and setting up my own construction company here. What do you think? Would this location good be for starting a company? He pointed with his finger to show her empty land and turned his gaze towards Ryan. Wine. This place is excellent and the location is very suitable for the company. Whatever you thought of will be good. Besides, you have gained enough experience in this field now so you can easily start your own company. Thank you for appreciating my thoughts. I'll buy this land very soon. I have saved some money which I'll use to purchase it, and I also have some land in my village that belongs to my father. It's not extremely valuable, but selling it can help it initiate some construction work. I'll keep earning and building this company. I'll take 3 or 4 years to establish fully. Jungkook, what's wrong? Why are you logging, man? Really, do you still need to ask? I've been waiting for you for the past 7 years. You know this girl is completely immersed in your love, and yet you ask my beloved cookie. Even if I have to wait for you for 100 years, I will. You are only my destination. I have no others but you. You are my life, and without you, I am just breathes. Just wait for me a little longer, 2 or 3 years at most. Thank you for loving me so deeply. He felt blessed thinking that he had found such a wonderful girl in his life. Surely he must have done something good deeds in his life. I am feeling hungry. Shall we go and have something to eat? Okay, ma'am. They both stood up and walked towards the car. Since she returned home, she had been lying on her bed thinking only about Jungkook. For the past 7 years, he had been the float of her thoughts, lost in deep contemplation. She picked up the photo frame beside her and pressed her lips to it. The picture of Jungkook and Ryan together on their graduation day. Tears began to well up in her eyes as she gazed at his picture. Despite being with for him past 7 years, she felt distance from him. Her heart yearned for him to be beside her on the bed, holding her in his arms with her head on his chest, eyes closed and peacefully asleep. Just wait a little longer, Ryan. Soon he'll be with you, close to you and yours. We'll be in a beautiful relationship as a husband wife. We will have a lovely family, our own little world where we'll be extreme happy. Just us and our children. I wish time would pass quickly. I'm executed waiting for you and my wait now. She wiped away her tears and placed the frame on the side table. Another thought was circulating in her mind, a decision that needed to be made difficult but not impossible. She went downstairs to the garage and instructed the guard to open it. Inside, expensive cars were parked but separately secured was one most valuable vehicle. She opened the door to the car's private room and before her stood her favorite and most prized possession. This was a rare blue Rolls Royce, the epitome of luxury and one most prized possession. Her father had presented it to her as a graduation gift, but she kept it secret from Jungkook, Vine deliberately avoiding flirting her wealth around him. Mr. Lakeham, I am glad you finally decided to take this car out. I thought it would stay here forever. He looked at Vine and stood beside her while Vine simply smiled in response to his words. Vine, don't worry, Dad. This car won't stay here anymore. I decided to use it, but not for my own purpose. What is your intention, this car then? I've decided to sell this car, Dad. She took a deep breath before uttering. Mr. Lee, are you okay, child? You want to sell your dream car which you've taken such a good care of, you couldn't even bear anyone touching it, and now you suddenly want to sell it? Is everything alright? Your father is still alive, solve your problem. Dad, I just want to sell it. I need some money and besides I'll never use it so it's useless to me. My child, selling it isn't the solution to every problem. Tell me how much money do you need? I'm willing to give you double the car price. Why, no, Dad, you've already done so much for me, and you continue to do so. You have always respected my wishes and supported me in every way. I don't want to burden you further. I don't want you to ever regret having me as your daughter. What are you talking about? You are the best daughter in the world. You never trouble me. It's a father's duty to fulfill his daughter's wishes. You are my only and beloved daughter. Don't ever say such a things. Dad, Jungkook wants to start his own construction company. We work together on projects for other companies, and in just 1 year, we've earned 18 billion with 9 billion each. He's used that money to buy that land and selling some of his father's property will bring construction. He thinks he'll accomplish this in 3 to 4 years, but it's impossible. I don't want him to keep working for others so long. Meaning, once again, you want to sacrifice your dream for that person? Dad, my biggest dream is him. Without him, I'll be lost anyway. Not everyone is born with a gold spoon in their mouth. If he is born into a poverty, it's not his fault. He lost his parents at a young age. He is different, Dad. While others in teenage were troubling people and exploiting girls, he was sensible, respectful, and self-sufficient, earning his own living. Now tell me, if he is working so hard for me, why shouldn't I support him? How can I leave him alone? No, Dad, if I get into the car now, I'll change my mind about selling it. Let's just leave it. How about we grab coffee together in street? Okay, as my daughter said. They both headed towards the kitchen. She was sitting in her office looking at some files when Jungkook suddenly opened the door of her office and entered, startling Ryan. He didn't appear calm, nor was he falsely angry. What happened to you, Cook? Why are you in such a hurry? Nothing, you sit down. I need to talk to you. Ryan sat back in her place and Jungkook sat in the chair across from her. Have you transferred your money into my bank account? He spoke with suppressed anger while one became nervous, knowing he wouldn't like this at all, which is why I transferred the money into his account without telling him. Yes, I did. Jungkook, can I know the reason why you did it? When you are building your company, that's why I did it. So, do you want to invest in my company? Do you want to become my business partner? Why, she quickly looked at him. No, it's not like that. I just had some extra money lying around in my bank, so I thought it would be useful for you. That's why I transferred it. I don't want any partnership with you. I just want a small job at your company. That's enough for me. Why will you ever let me do anything on my own? I shouldn't have even mentioned it to you. Why do you shower me with your so much favor that I can never repay? You know that in these 7 years, your words that hurt me the most are when you make me feel like an outsider for a movement. We are together and are for each other. I am not doing any favors for you, nor do I even think that way. I consider you mine, and when you need me, I consider it my duty to stand by you. If I ever need you, will you consider helping me a favor? No, Brian, that's not was my attention to you. You do too much for me and never think about yourself. I don't want the money back from you. I want you to start your business soon. I don't like seeing you work for others. I want you to fulfill your dream. If you continue alone, I'll take 6 to 7 years to reach your goal. I'm already 24 and you want to become successful person before talking marriage with my father, but my father won't agree either. So please hurry up. In the next 6 7 years, I'll become old. Then please do me this favor soon. Living alone has becoming difficult. She spoke impatiently and returned to her work, while Jungkook couldn't help but to smile looking at her. Having thought a lot about Vine, now he wanted to think more about her, and various thoughts began to swirl in his mind. You have done so much for me so far. If I get the chance to return the favor, I hope you respect it graciously. Marry me, I'll be thrilled, and this is one thing I thank you for coming into my life and making my life worth living. At night, the two of them sat alone in the construction area. All the workers had gone home. The construction work was almost complete, and they sat gazing at the particular building in front of them. Due to conscious work from morning to evening, both were executed with mud and paint stain on their clothes. Just a few more days and this work will be completed and you will become the CEO of this company. I actually wait the day when I see you sitting in the CEO's chair of this company. Jungkook, you are happier than I am. You are truly crazy, but I won't be sitting in this company's CEO chair. You will be the first person to occupy that seat. Why me? I won't sit there. It's your place and you look good in that position. You look even more handsome as capable as you are. Many companies CEO will clamor to work with you. Many girls will be smitten with you when you become a successful person. Will you forget me amidst your success and fame? She asked, rewind by an unconscious apprehension, and Jungkook looked at her, noticed a faint glimmer of fear on her face. You are truly crazy. What's there to forget about you? People forget things that are on their mind for just a moment, but you are embedded in my veins like a intoxication for the past 7 years. Even if I wanted to forget you, I couldn't. As Vine startled at his sudden touch, she gazed uncertainly at his hand on her waist, then met his eyes, which were still locked on hers. Seeing him up close for the first time, one heartbeat and breathing quickened, her cheeks flushing pink. Overwhelmed, she hesitantly averted her gaze and began predicating with her fingers. Seeing Vine's nervousness, Jungkook smiled slightly. He knew she was not bold in this matter. Don't think nonsense. The world was here before you and still is, but I didn't like anyone except you, and these eyes don't want to see anyone else beside you. You are the only one in my life, and you always will be. You hold the most special place in my heart and always will. Leaning in, Jungkook gently pressed her lips to her forehead and Van closed her eyes serene. No man had ever touched her before, and this was the first caress. I hope you didn't mind me touching you. The touch of the person I long for. How could it ever feel bad? Thank you for introducing me to this beautiful feeling. And thank you for coming into my life and making it so beautiful. Both of them smiled, feeling tranquil in each other's presence and sensing each other's love. She was getting ready for the party Jungkook had organized to celebrate the company's success. It had been a year since they entered the business world, and in the short time Jungkook company had made remarkable progress. He had made it to list of Korea's top businessmen and was even nominated for the number one business award this year. Wine and Jungkook's tireless effort and brought the company to a position where international business also wanted to collaborate with them. She had dressed up in a simple red colored dress and was looking extremely beautiful with light diamond jewelry. After getting ready, she checked herself in the mirror and with a gentle smile picked up her bag and stepped out. Due to party's engagement, he had declined to pick up Fine and today she was going with a driver. He was already at the party and all of the city businessmen were in the attendance. The party was lavish, organized on the grand scale, and everyone who attended couldn't help but praise Jungkook and his party. There were also businesswomen at this party and who had been impressed by Jungkook's personality from the start. But in the business world, he was a different person, cold, reserved, and focused solely on work. Yet, with his same personality, he had begun to rule the heart of many girls. Yes, he is extremely handsome. We don't want him to keep us for life. As handsome as he is, spending even one night with him would be a thrill. But he never agrees to talk. I once invited him for a coffee and he declined despite working on a project with my brother's company. He is very arrogant, but I like that about him. Spending a night with him would be a thrilling, but how do I get him to agree? He won't say yes to anyone. If you're really dying for him, I have some advice for you. Hi, Mr. John. She walked up to Jungkook holding tutoring class hand and he was engrossed in conversation with someone until she called out to Jungkook, catching his attention. Oh, Miss Clara, you. I'm glad you remember me. It feels good to see that. I thought you had forgotten me. Jungkook, we met just a few months ago and my memories isn't so weak that I forgot someone so quickly. Oh yeah, can we talk for a little while and have a drink together? See, you've already said no to me once before and today you're party. She was talking to an strangely flirtatious manner, and her clothes were also somewhat unusual, which didn't make Jungkook feel good. Okay, but I don't drink alcohol. We can talk without drinks too. I know you don't drink, that's why I bought soft drinks. You can have this. He had unwillingly taken a drink from her, and they both sat on the chair facing each other, starting to talk and sip their drinks. Within a moment, Jungkook's head began spinning and the scene before him started to blur. Jungkook was heavily intoxicated when she walked up to him and sat on his lap while he was still clutching his head trying to fight off the dizziness. As he felt her presence, he looked towards her, but his vision was so blurry that he couldn't barely recognize her. Who are you? Jungkook, since when have you started making such moves? What I am going to do now you can't even imagine, and what happened tonight you will figure out in the morning. She had grasped Jungkook's hand, walking, popping them around her waist and leaning in to kiss him. It was the first time Jungkook felt someone's lips, his ability to think and Vine had stepped into the party with a beautiful smile, her eyes scanning the crowd for one person she always managed to find, but her smile vanished in an instant, replaced by waves of pain on her face as she saw her loved one in the another girl's arm, and they were engrossed in kissing each other. Seeing him kissing another girl, Vine's heart began to ache. It was shattered and shattered so brutally that it felt as someone had sliced her heart into a pieces with a sharp edge, and blood was oozing. The agony was unbearable, as if her soul had been ripped apart. The intensity of the pain turned her eyes red, and tears flowed from them. 8 years of love, longing, trust, and hard work. Everything was destroyed in an instant by the person she loved, for whom she had sacrificed her dream, passion, and herself, living only for him. She stood there gazing at them for a while, wanting to feel the pain deeper so she could either hate or forget the person she had held in her heart for so long. She was in immense agony, but couldn't muster the courage to approach him and demanding accountability for her suffering or the air she had waited. Her pain poured out in the form of tears. Jungkook Pia had noticed Wine and approached her to greet her. but, and approached her to greet her, but upon seeing her straight, he followed her gaze and was shocked to see Jungkook in a compromising position. Wait a little, ma'am. I will call boss. He was about to approach Jungkook when Boyan's voice stopped him. Let be, your boss is busy. It's a bad manner to interrupt someone beautiful moment. She spoke in a broken voice with many things inside her already shattered beyond repair. She silently wiped away her tears and walked away. While his peer watched her leave with regret, witnessing the breakdown of their beautiful relationship.